Naruto is a generationally loved series, and for a good reason. It has interesting characters, an interesting power system, and most of the story is very engaging. It's also one of those series that many that follow take a lot of inspiration from because it's so great. With that said, there were some places where the story fell short, and I'm looking directly at Kaguya when I say that, but there's also the issue that the main character, Naruto Uzumaki's kit, is based around 3 techniques. Something about that never sat right with me, especially since characters like Kakashi and Sasuke have plenty of techniques in their kits. Sasuke is a better comparison since, like Naruto, he has a lot of variations of his primary move. The difference is that Sasuke's Chidori variants aren't really Chidori, they're just lightning release, and beyond that, he still has shown fire release, Sharingan abilities like Amaterasu, Kagetsuchi, Susanoo, Genjutsu, and then his 6 paths powers from the Rinnegan, like the abilities we saw from the Paths of Pain and Amino Tejikara, the Heavenly Hand power, his ability to teleport between dimensions. Whereas with Naruto, pretty much every part of his kit is derived from Shadow Clones, Rasengan, and Rasen Shuriken, and that is very disappointing. I believe that there are 6 techniques we've seen throughout the run of Naruto that would have perfectly fit into his kit and provided some much needed diversity in his combat style. I'm going to explain why and or how these abilities would have fit into his kit and why I believe he should have had them. Let's get started. Starting this list off, we have a lesser known jutsu, Wind Style Breakthrough. It was an important part of Naruto's training with Kakashi for him to learn chakra natures and finding out he has an affinity for wind release, so why not give him more wind release jutsu? I get that he has the Wind Style Rasengan, which he has only used once in his training with Kakashi, and the Rasen Shuriken and its variants, which are all Wind Style, with another element added on top of it, but I think it would have been nice for him to have learned another Wind Style jutsu while practicing with Kakashi, especially considering Kakashi has allegedly learned over 1,000 jutsu. He could have trained Naruto in some beginner level Wind Style techniques. This moment could have also been an introduction to strategizing for Naruto, since up until this point his main strategy has been to overpower his opponent with numbers and Rasengan. So him learning an ability that's main focus is to push something away from you could have led to him thinking about how he could follow that up with Sakura's dumb levels of strength or a follow-up from Kakashi. Learning an ability that pushes his opponents away could have also been what leads Naruto to wanting to make a ranged Rasengan. The reason this might not have worked is the scale of the fights that Naruto eventually got to, with the high tiers fighting in huge chakra mechs and dimension hopping, but that has a simple fix. Don't go down that path as far as it did. At least that would be the solution in a world where Kishimoto rewrote Naruto. Now this next one is a little more vague, but it will make sense. Naruto should have had some type of fire jutsu tied to him being Kurama's Jinchuriki. For most of the series run, Kurama has had some type of connection to fire in some shape, way, or form. The fiery aura Naruto would get when using the lower-tailed cloaks, his and other people's skin getting burnt when they come into contact with Kurama's chakra, Kurama literally breathing fire in the fight with pain, and Naruto's cloaks in KCMs 1 and 2 having a fiery aura. This on top of the constant sun imagery portrayed in relation to Naruto's character, it would make sense for him to have some type of fire release, even if it was just limited to when he uses Kurama's Chakra Gundam. I understand that narratively he didn't have it so that there could be some distinction between his and Sasuke's abilities, but honestly I don't care about that since it makes way more sense for him to have fire release than for him to not have it. This next one comes with some caveats, but I think it's still valid. The Uzumaki Adamantine Sealing Chains. The caveat I mentioned would be that he can only use it on himself, and it is technically Kushina's chains. Now give me a second to explain. This would really only work in the way I envision it if Naruto had a few more arcs, allowing Naruto time to really get accustomed to the new tailed beast chakra and gradually mastering it instead of just mastering it the day he started learning it. This could work in a way to have him learn KCM 1 and 2 in different arcs, so he isn't getting 4 new forms in one arc. as well as him showing some struggle in learning to control it and having to use the chains on himself to contain it, eventually overcoming it, being able to use the power freely by the time the war arc rolls around. The chains being Kushina's would represent a connection to his mother he didn't have before, and that he now has because he's facing his literal demons and overcoming them with the help of his loved ones, which I think could be sappy and potentially corny, but would also be very sweet since we know what Naruto has been through up until this point, being viewed as a demon since birth. Now the next two are to add to his close range kit, starting with chakra blades similar to Asuma's. Naruto has held these in the anime and has the same chakra affinity as Asuma to make this work. Diversifying Naruto's close quarters would make the close range combat more interesting. It could also stave off some of the need for chakra Gundams. I don't hate or even dislike the chakra mechs, I just like a bit more choreography in the fights, and it's harder to do that when the characters tower over their opponents and are more incentivized to use any other way of attacking as opposed to a well choreographed fight. The second addition to his close range combat would be something that he already has in his kit that he stopped using after the Pain Assault arc. Frog Kata, or Froggy Kumite, was something that got overshadowed pretty hard, and of the Sage modes we know of, it can be viewed as pretty lacking, especially when compared to Sage Art Inorganic Reincarnation, the unique ability for Snake Sages, but it's still interesting. Especially if Naruto would have been able to learn to increase the range of the Sage Aura, or learn to disrupt chakra with it by injecting Sage chakra into his opponents or something like that. After just learning it, he was able to rock the hell out of a path of pain. So if it's something that could be trained to be even better, it could have been an invaluable part of his kit and made close quarters combat more interesting. It also acts as a way to tie him to his mentor Jiraiya, which would have been nice, and could have incentivized him to switch between Sage of Six Paths mode and Frog Sage mode if it was something exclusive to this form of Sage mode. Speaking of Sage of Six Paths, why did he lose his Sage of Six Paths abilities? This is on the list more as a gripe. Like, don't get me wrong, I hate Naruto Jesus, but if it's in the story, don't take the abilities away if somebody else gets to keep the abilities they got from the same source. Naruto seemingly lost the Sage of Six Paths abilities, not showing the ability to fly, create limbs, make Truth Seeker orbs, or anything of the sort since Boruto began. Meanwhile, Sasuke still has his Sage of Six Paths abilities, and they were actually a very important part of the story, with him hunting Otsutsukis early in Boruto, and it became a plot point for Borushiki to run a kunai into this man's eye socket. Naruto should have kept those abilities until Baryon mode. If not then, he should still have them in the story now. Anyway, we're on the final one of the list, and it is the most obvious pick, Flying Raijin, or the Flying Thunder God technique. This is one of the coolest jutsu in the series, especially with how Minato was shown to have used it in canon and in games. It was also shown that users of Flying Thunder God can sync their marks to each other, which could have led to Naruto learning stuff about Minato by going to places he may have gone, whether it be old battlefields or places he took Kushina. This technique could have been used to give Naruto a deeper connection to his parents, as well as give him a crazy powerful ability, teleporting around the battlefield with tons of clones and slamming tailed beast bombs and Rasengan into his enemies' chests. There are so many reasons why he should have learned this one, but these are just the ones that I view as important. To close this out, I want to open the floor to you all. What jutsu should Naruto have learned and why? Also, leave in the comments if you agree or disagree down below. I'm interested in what you all have to say. I think I'll also make this type of video for Sakura because she should have had a way better kit than the one she had. With that said, have a nice day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.